was on here last night pretty late. So I got off of here around, I guess, 8 o'clock or so, and then I watched some television until about 9:30, and then went up to hit the hay there. So 7-3 to Andrew into YKX. Wish I could have heard you this morning and was more prepared to get the web SDR going or something there, but nevertheless, we'll catch you again soon. Hopefully, we'll hear you again on the Collins, because last time I heard the Collins, it sounded great there. So 7-3 to you, Andrew. Back down to you, Kev. I wonder what you got planned today. KK4GZQ in the group, W3MMR, trying to wake up with this fresh cup.
Sounds like you're starting to come around a little bit. W3MMR with W2SDR. Into YKX sign, 73 Andrew, and KK4GZQ. Okay, on you guys doing your shopping today. I'm pretty good. I've been a couple of times. I've slipped in and got a few little things here and there, and the idea is to try to stay out of there as much as possible, I guess. But I've been doing a pretty good job, even with the customers. When I walk up and meet them for the first time, front door, we explain to them, that I'm doing the social business. Everybody's on the same place. So kind of just walk around these houses and talk, and we keep a good spread between us. And that's about the only contacts I'm really having, other than just my family and dealing with maybe cashiers at the gas station or the grocery or something like that. And then I've got I ran out of hand sanitizer, Frank. I'm using, I've got a big bottle of hydrogen peroxide in there. I've been keeping my hands clean with that. And I guess if I run out of that and the store's out, I've got a big bottle of vodka in here that I never did drink. Maybe I could start using that, Frank. And Perry, really enjoyed the video you sent me yesterday of either you or somebody running the hard surface washer in the shop, and I watched it several times. That's a nice machine, and without a shadow of a doubt, it's hooked to a nice washer. I'm wondering what kind of washer you guys got, because not any washer will run that machine that you got there. And it looks like to me that you guys, of course, being in the field that you're in, that you're washing with hot water to break down oils and grease. Wondering exactly what you're using there. You look like you got a pretty good setup going there at the shop. W2SDR, KK4GZQ in the group.
Okay, W2SDR. I'm going to make this my final here. Going to go up with the upstairs shaft, and I'm going to drop down the van. 45 minutes or an hour to go shopping to get there when they open for senior time. So I haven't been in a couple of weeks, so now you got to wear a mask to go out. I haven't been out, so I'll wear a mask. I guess I got some masks. Unbelievable. I'll catch you guys later. And that was like a real high-powered sprayer there. I just got a small and high-pressure sprayer here. So that's at work, and you got to get all that greasy grime, I guess, off the shop floor and all that. I could never use my garage floor to be clean. That'll probably never happen. I'm lucky if I sweep it, let alone do anything else to it. There's some air concrete there. So, I guess it would be nice to have it cleaned real good and then put an epoxy coating and all that stuff that people do. That's pretty far down on the list. I'll say 7-3 for you guys. Catch up with you all later. Over to you, Perry. W3MMR. KK4GZQ. W2SDR.
Yeah, all right, Pop. Well, good catching up with you this morning. maybe I'll catch up with you. I'm sure I'll catch up with you throughout the day as always. There hasn't been one day in years now that we haven't spoken, at least on text message, telephone, or on the radio. So sure I'll talk to you on the phone at some point today. Have a good day, Pop, and be safe when you go out. Wear that mask, man. Wear that mask, and then wear a bandana over top of it, and then make sure you wear a big pair of dark sunglasses and a black hoodie, and put your hood up, and so you look like you're robbing the place, so everybody looks at you and leaves you alone. That's one thing. I'll mention that real quick. It's just weird. I see all these people walking around with bandanas on, and I live in the city here. Okay, I wouldn't really say I live in the hood, but I live close to the hood, okay? And, man, you see these people walking around with bandanas on, and it's just, makes you a little nervous, you know? See somebody walking in the store, you know, it's just bandana and a hoodie on, it's like, oh, God, what the hell's going to happen here? You know, but a lot of people are wearing masks around here, a lot, which is good. And work is slowed to a crawl, which is, it's not good for us. You know, but it's good for this whole thing because it's been weird up until this week. It's been business as usual. I mean, we've been doing this. We were doing the same numbers as we were the past prior 2 years for the week. So, but now, I mean, it's literally like somebody shut off the light switch because I think we've done 6 cars all week, and usually by this time we do about 35 or 40 by Friday. So that kind of puts it in perspective. And we got to make about $13,000 to break even for the week, payroll and all the other overhead and everything. It's actually a little less than that now because the one guy isn't working. But not much less. Okay, maybe $12.50 or $12.5 a week. So we're not even anywhere near that. I think we're like maybe at $2,000 for the week. You know, so it's been a brutal week here, and we shut down early yesterday at 5-ish. I said, look, man, let's just get out of here. I said, we haven't done anything in hours. I've been working on my truck. I was fixing a brake light wiring problem on my truck, and the other guy was standing around doing nothing, and we were waiting for one customer to come pick her car up, and so when she could, want me to call her and get her up here so we can go home? And he's like, yeah, let's shut down. So my job's secure. I'm going to be the last Mohican, he told me. If he's going to send anybody home and not need anybody, it'll be everybody else, and I'll be the last one. So it's good for me. I just, I feel bad about the other guys, but that's the times we're in right now. And Kevin, that's we're not using hot water, just using regular hose water. And the pressure washer, I couldn't tell you because it's so goddamn old and it has no markings on it. It's got like one flat tire, but it's an old workhorse, man. The thing works good, and that we call it the chopper. The hard surface cleaner, we call it the chopper, and that's a really nice one. And it takes like the specs at 8 gallons per minute. It's what it recommends to use, 8 gallons per minute and 4,000 psi. So yeah, that pressure washer's got to be pretty hefty. And that's a nice one. I think it's like a BE. I can't remember the model number, but that was me running it yesterday. And the thing works great. And we weren't even using concrete cleaner yesterday. We usually do, but we didn't need it. Just run that thing over it, and it gets all the grease and the grime up. And then go. After I do that, I come behind it with the gun and then pressure wash. Push all the dirt and the grime out. And we have a trough, like a drain, in the front of the bays. And I'll push half of it that way and the other half out the door. And it gets it real nice. I mean, the floors turn from black to a nice light concrete color. Back to you, Kev. 7-3 Pop, KK4GZQ, MMR, W3 MMR.
Okay, Perry, I was just dragging my feet there, make sure anybody else didn't want in. Maybe Andrew would want to step back in here at some point. I didn't know if he said he was going to get coffee, but he didn't say he was going to be back. Best 73 to Frank, W2SDR with W3MMR in the group, KK4GZQ. Well, yeah, I could kind of tell. I watched the video here of you. Of course, you know that I look at stuff like that and look at every little thing because it's what I do. And I've got two of those machines. That the floor machine part of it that I'm seeing here. I've actually got. I think I've got 5 washers now, Perry, and wondering and yeah, you mentioned, yeah, I knew it had to have been a big machine running that, 8 gallons a minute at 4,000 psi. You know, that's about as big in the market as you'll see out there for any kind of residential or commercial cleaning. I know there's probably some institutional cleaning that they've got special machines for that probably will cut your arm clean off, but that's about as big as they get, Perry. That 8-gallon a minute pump on those, generally made by a company called General or AR, Anaerobi Robieri. It's an Italian company. They're the main two that you'll see. And you'll see another one out there as well. It's blue in color on some of these pressure washers. A cat, C-A-T, cat pump. And they're really good. But evidently the one that you're running there has a kerosene heater on it. Some sort of a heater to heat the water. Even though it's old, it looks like it's doing a fantastic job. And, you know, that hot water is one thing I don't have. I clean with cold water. But at some point, I'm going to have the trailer that's got the kerosene heater and the skid. I've got a 21 or 22 horsepower Honda. It's a GX690, Perry, 22 horse with a General 8-gallon per minute pump on it. But I don't have it up and going yet because generally when they're pulling 8 gallons a minute, your wall receptacle or your spigot doesn't put out 8 gallons. You generally have to run through a tank, a holding tank or a buffer tank, which allows you to draw that 8 gallons that it wants, that it needs there. I'm wondering, are you guys running directly off the hose, or are you running off of a tank, or do you have some sort of reservoir? W3MMR, KK4GZQ.
Yeah, we're running right off the wall, right out the spigot, and it's not heated. It's not hot water. Unfortunately, that would make it a lot easier. I know we were talking about the steam cleaners the other day. That would probably make things a bit easier. But we clean the floors. You know, we pressure wash the floors at least, you know, every couple months, okay? And some of the guys are pretty dirty, and you know, my bay is usually spotless. I try to keep my bay pretty clean, so my bay doesn't even need it. But you know, it's the other guys that who are a little dirty that you know, that make us have to pressure wash. But yeah, no hot water, and directly out of the wall, and out of the spigot. And I'll look up the specs and stuff on that pressure washer today. I'll see if I can find some markings on it. Like I said, it's old, but it works, man. It works great. And like, I don't know too much about it or about pressure washers. Obviously, you seem to sound like you know a lot about them. Which I would come to expect, having you got your own goddamn business, you know. But yeah, I'll definitely look into that. And we were having a little issue with the hard surface cleaner in the beginning of the day. I guess the nozzles underneath were clogged, and it was acting like you know, when you got air in the lines, when where the motor will start idling up and down, like you got air in it, and whoa. And I thought that we were getting air in the line somehow, or the water, the spigot wasn't keeping up with the pressure washer wasn't keeping up with the hard surface cleaner, and ended up flipping the thing upside down. Took the nozzles off, and took the line off that goes from the handle, the inlet, down to the sprayer at the bottom there, and blew everything out and took the nozzles off. The nozzles were clogged somehow. Got little. I mean, they're like little jets in there. I mean, it doesn't take much to clog them, but they were clogged, and cleaned them out, and the thing started working fine. So, the thing is a great thing to have if you want to keep your shop floors clean, especially with hard surface on the concrete. If you don't have enough like epoxy, and it gets in, and the concrete's real old, and it's real porous, and it's not perfectly, flat and smooth, and the thing's a real lifesaver, man. It keeps things real clean. KK4G ZQ W3MMR.
There's Bob Demon. He's got a new nickname, Perry. It's 10 over Bob. We're calling him 10 over Bob now, KA3.WS, because he's always just 10 over right here on Empire Receive. Good morning, Bob. I'll send it to you, and you'll send it back up to Perry, W3MMR, with KA3IWS, KK4GZQ. Yeah, Perry, that sounds great. Yeah, it looks like it's doing a great job on that floor, and I guess you guys have talked about floor drain and maybe some squeegees or something. And it looks like probably a necessity with what you guys got. And I listened to you talk about the numbers that the shop has to do at 13,000, 12,500, what have you, to break even. I'm wondering, is that 6 days a week? Or are you guys open every day? I'm going to say you're probably closed on Sundays, maybe. But just curious, that's kind of interesting with your payroll, and I'm sure that you guys have some huge weeks in there that you blow that number, five-fold out of the water, threefold out of the water, what have you. And Bet 73 again to Frank, who's headed shopping. And Perry, the thing that'll probably finally bite the dust on the hard pressure washer is right there in the center of it. On the top is a power head. It's got little ball bearings and seals inside there. That basically where your comes down from your trigger, that hose, and then plugs right into the very top, right over top of the rotating wand. I had to buy one of those, and they're nothing to them. Easy to replace. It's about $160. I just did it at the beginning of this past year. I had one go out on me. And that rotating bar down on the bottom, with 8 gallons, it should have 4 different spigots, 2 on each end of the bar. That rotating bar down on the bottom, with 8 gallons, it should have 4 different spigots, 2 on each end of the bar. That rotating bar down, whatever. Interesting stuff, and that looks like a heck of a good floor machine. And